What up, everybody? It's Caesar from Business and Gravy. Today we about to talk about how I was able to go from being broke to having over a $25,000 net worth in only 3 years. Look, anybody can do it, but not everybody will. Stay tuned. You ain't gonna want to miss this, I promise you. Starting now. Testing 1 2 3, and we're live. So here we go, y'all. We're about to talk about how you're going to go from being in scarcity to having abundance, and it's going to begin in the inside. I always say, as within, so without. All right, so we're going to change you from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And let's talk about first the one thing that you need to understand, which is the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. It's Proverbs 22 verse 7. A lot of the stuff in self-help that you're going to learn, you're going to find out that it's coming straight from the Bible, all right? And remember that the Bible was written before any self-help book and before all your favorite self-help gurus or financial gurus or whatever. So if something in the Bible, Holy Caesar is going to bring it to you first before I go and talk about what I learned from some self-help guru or some other source, okay? Because that's only right. Like I said, it's not about religion, but the truth is the truth. So understand, more importantly, that the borrower is slave to the lender. So another way that we can talk about borrowers and lenders are debtors and investors. You either on one side of the spectrum, but being poor and being rich are both two sides of the same coin. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Okay. So being poor and being rich, being in scarcity to having abundance are two sides of the same coin. And I'm about to explain to you how. First, we're going to break it down. We're going to break down the borrower and the lender, also known as the debtor and the investor, also known as someone in scarcity versus someone in abundance, etc., etc. I can go on, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. So the borrower or the debtor, they stay poor, usually for a long time. Why? Because they're in debt. And we know debt comes with interest rates. And you only borrow money because you don't have it. So you using your time to go and chase money just so you can pay back your lender. Now, as you can see, that's keeping the lender rich. Because as you using your time, he's not using his time to make that money. You're giving it, you using your time to give him money. So that's keeping him rich, and usually for a long time, because you are pretty much an asset to him. Okay, so we go into that. Lenders have assets and debtors have liabilities. Assets are something that you pay for. Like I said, the lender pretty much loaned you some money, so you're an asset now, and it's giving him returns. All right. And liabilities are something that maybe you pay for, but it's taking money out your pocket. Lenders, as you can see, they have their money work for them. They loan you money. Now that money that they loaned you is bringing back more money with interest and stuff like that. That's only one example. And debtors, they work for money. They go out and chase money. So like I said, a lot of times when you get these mortgages, these car loans, you got these material possessions, but you're going out and using your time, your energy, your efforts to go get money just so you can give it to that debtor because you got a mortgage. It's different if you buy stuff in cash and you have no liabilities. You know what I'm saying? So even doing that type of stuff, that goes to show that the borrower or the debtor has a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset, it can be a lot of different things. It's pretty much, people in scarcity think like this. First of all, if they ain't got money, they'll do some stupid stuff to get something that costs money that they can't afford because they feel like they don't have enough. If they don't, then they don't. But it's a scarcity mindset for them to take that action to go get in debt to get something that they feel like, unless they need it, but usually 9 times out of 10, they don't need it. They might just really want it. And also, people in the scarcity mindset, they do stuff like put $5 in their gas tank because they feel like they won't have enough. People with abundance mindset will fill it up because they know they're going to need the gas anyway. People with a scarcity mindset are usually in doubt in fear of stuff. People with an abundance mindset usually are more optimistic and positive about any situation that happens. People with a scarcity mindset, they think more about risk and what could happen and limiting beliefs. People with an abundant mindset, they understand that you have to get out your comfort zone. They more open to taking risks because they know that you got to get out your comfort zone, take more risks, and look for opportunities in order to grow. People with a scarcity mindset, they do the opposite. They think everything is like a scam. People are out to get them, and that they should stay safe and just play it what they sure about and stay in the comfort zone. And that's another way that you can see how people with a scarcity mindset, also known as debtors or borrowers, just people on that side of the spectrum, how they can stay there for a long time. They stay in a comfort zone. They repeat the same things and they get the same results, but they do that without realizing it until hopefully somebody like myself shows them the light. Like, look, if you do the same stuff, you're going to get the same result. Now, people on the other side of the spectrum, they already realize, like I said, they're more optimistic and they look for opportunities and ways to give to the universe or give to people, which is given to the universe, just give of themselves. And they see that it always come back. So when I break down how to manage money, I'm going to tell you to have an account specifically for giving. All right. Again, it's not biblical, but the stuff is in the Bible. When you're in that mindset of not scarcity, but abundance, like scarcity people, they feel like I don't have enough to give. But when you're in that mindset, you're going to attract abundance. Like whatever you put out into the world is going to come back. So you don't want to be with the scarcity mindset. You want to be with an abundance mindset. You don't want to be a borrower. You want to be a lender. The way I see it, if you're on the debtor side, then you're dealing with the devil, because people who get in debt, usually they are manipulated. Sometimes they manipulate themselves into going into debt, but other times they could be manipulated by marketing, by marketers, by salesmen, keeping up with the Joneses, all the stuff, the media and influencers, you know what I'm saying? What's happening, what's going on around them. And I'm not saying that it's the actual devil, but it's like something that you want to stay away from. At least be aware of it, because I'm going to tell you that you are in the middle between the borrower and the lender, because you always have a choice on which side you're going to start leaning on. All right. On the lender side, that's where the goodness at. All right. So if you got the devil over here, this is the goodness, because once you give, stuff is coming back. But once you giving your stuff away, it's not really coming back. You have to, when you making money, you have to realize how important it is once you got it, because once you give it away, if it's not going to some type of investment, you're never getting it back. Okay? Not that investments are always 100% certain to come back to you. But if you're giving it away and then it's causing you to give more away or something like that, you just never getting it back. Whenever you get some money, it don't matter if you get more money. Like if I just made $20 right now, right? And then I go to the show, go see the new Avengers movie, and then next week I make $100 for something. That $20 that I gave away to the show is gone forever. It's not like, I got $100 now, I'll make it right back. So when you getting these paychecks every 2 weeks or whatever, realize that the money that you spent prior is gone forever. So you want to choose wisely. Shout out J. Cole. Choose wisely. You only get one shot. Okay? One shot. This is how you build wealth. Have this awareness. You only get one shot with the money that you got. Put it away. All right? You want to give it to yourself. Once you give it to yourself, then you can invest it. And usually it'll make you money back. Okay? Spend some, save some, sow some. All right? Invest some. You got to have a plan for your money. That's what it's going to come. That's what it's going to come down to. We're going to talk about the plan and the budget and everything later. Right now, I'm just explaining how both these things are actually on the same side of the coin. So even if you're in a lot of debt, do not fret. Oh, look at that. Even if you're in a lot of debt, do not fret, because the same muscle that it takes to get you out of debt, it's the same muscle that it takes to build you all that wealth that we talking about. Because it's basically going to come down to discipline and knowing what to do with your money. That's it. So the borrower usually are consumers. They consume stuff, whether it be, I don't know, entertainment, sitting down watching cable all day. They just sit there and they consume. Lenders, investors are creators. People who create, they manifest. All right. Consumers, it's like they take. If you consuming something, you giving it to you taking it for yourself. If you creating something, it's like you giving it. You see the difference? You want to be more of a giver or investor, like give out instead of just think about yourself or take. Even if I ain't saying that you thinking about yourself, you're doing something selfish, but it's like you're not giving. So it's like you kind of are without even knowing it. Like I said earlier, borrowers sell their time for money. They trade their time for money. And lenders, they save their time with money. You sell your time for money by going out, clocking in hours to get money. All right. There's nothing wrong with that initially. But once you're aware, if that's not something that you want for yourself, you need to be in a position to get yourself out of that, because we understand that time is the most valuable resource, even more valuable than money, because time is your life. And how many lives do you get that you know of for sure? Just this one that you're experiencing right now, right? Right. Now, lenders, like I said, they save time with money. So if I lend you some money, I'm saving myself time from not having to go out there and hustle for money all the time. And also, a lot of lenders are like business owners. So if I'm hiring people to do stuff for my business that's making me money, then I ain't got to spend my time doing that, and I'm still making money. Even though I'm lending by paying their salary or whatever, it's saving me time and it's still making me money. See that? Now, we already know that the debtors, they have very minimal options. Like money is not everything. Money is important in the ways that it is useful. It gives you options. It solves problems for you. Kind of make your life a little easier, right? When something come up, you got the money for it, get that problem right out your life, just like that. But when you're in debt, when you're borrowing money, you ain't got no cash to your name, you ain't really got that many options. You got to do stuff the hard way, all right? You got to eat the stuff you don't want to eat, stuff like that. And you got a lot of options when you got cash, when you got assets, when you're a lender, when you're an investor, all right? When you have a net worth, a positive net worth. The borrowers are slave to the lenders. The borrowers are servants. The lenders have freedom. And you, my friend, even if you're in debt, you are still the human in the middle. You get to make the decisions. You get to make the choices. Even if you negative $30,000 in debt right now, you have to make the decision that you're going to go on the other side. And you need to start doing the necessary things so you can get on the other side. And remember that being a human, you are filled with all these different emotions that certain people know how to manipulate. Like I said, marketers, influencers, marketing, your commercials. When you walking through the mall, when you see McDonald's sign, McDonald's is the biggest scam in the world. It might be cheap, it might be convenient, but the thing is, you're spending your money on it, and you're spending your money on something that's not really giving you no real return. The food is unhealthy and it kills you. So why are you spending? It's like buying cigarettes. It gives you some instant gratification, but people who are addicted to instant gratification, those are the people who really don't get to where they want to be in life, unless you find a way to balance it out. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with eating some McDonald's here and there. Probably not even smoking a cigarette here and there. But if you ain't got a healthy lifestyle, or if you just doing that stuff constantly, it's not balancing out, and you're really screwing yourself over. that's kind of on some deeper level stuff, but I want you to look at life like that. You gotta look at the real value of stuff. Maybe that's called no, that's not intrinsic value. I don't know. But just look at the real value of stuff, whatever you consume and what is really giving you in return in the long run. That's going to help you make much wiser decisions, not only with money, but just in life in general. All right. Some stuff you can do today and in the long run is detrimental to you, you know? What did Warren Buffett say? Warren Buffett said, I just quoted this. It's on Facebook. Let me see. I need to end this video soon. Here we go. Warren Buffett said, you only have to do a few things right in your life so long as you don't do too many things wrong. If you don't know who Warren Buffett is, he is the best investor that the world have ever seen. He owns a lot of shares in stuff like Disney, Coca-Cola. He owns Geico, a bunch of big companies, right? He's worth about $80 billion. And his share in the stock market is higher than any other companies. I think Google and Amazon is about $1,200 to $1,500 per share. Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, is $200,000 per share. All right. He says the first rule of investing is don't lose money. The second rule of investing is don't forget rule number 1. And I'm telling you today, the first rule of borrowing is to not go in debt. The second rule of borrowing, don't forget rule number 1. You know? So it's like the same thing. You see how I do that? Yeah. Anyway, that's what I got to talk about today. I want you to understand the difference between the sower. I want you to understand the difference between the lender and the borrower, and how it's both on the same side. Because what it takes for you to get out of debt, it's the same thing that it's going to take for you to begin to build wealth for yourself. It's really as simple as debt. No pun intended. Pun was intended, actually. And there's going to be 2 methods that I'm going to teach you in the next video to help you get out of debt. These are like the only 2 methods that you could possibly use and have some sense in doing what you're doing. Method 1 is going to basically be the most common method, which is paying down the highest interest rate debt first. That way, mathematically, you get out of debt quicker and you spend less money doing so. And the second method, not a lot of people talk about, but you can pay off the lowest debt balance first. And this works because the small wins will help you build momentum and good behavior, aka discipline. Because to get out of debt, that's more what it's about, building discipline, getting it over with, you know. And it's gonna take time depending on how much debt you is, and it sucks. That's why I say stay out of debt by all means necessary. They say it's good debt and bad debt. I don't believe in that. I believe that there's wiser debt and dumber debt, but debt is debt, and you're always gonna be a slave to somebody, you know. I'm gonna recommend some books. I'm gonna leave them in the description below, and yeah, check those out. They'll do you good. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm gonna dive deep into these 2 methods, show you how you can, sum up everything that you need to pay, and how to show you how you can save more money so you can put it towards debt, and how you can earn more money and put it towards debt, because you're gonna have to go all in on that debt. All right, you're gonna have to make more than the minimum payments. That's the only way you're gonna get out and catch that interest rate. All right, hope this was helpful. See you in the next video.